mycloudNews, August edition. So we're joining us today. We've got two vendors. We've got Bruce from vGRID and also Daniel from SkyKick giving us an update across those two brands. Just to cover off the agenda, I'll speak first. I've got the Microsoft CSP top of mind. So just talking around the new partner agreement. Skype for Business is end of life. There is an announcement now. The new Solutions Workspace and the Microsoft Partner Awards as well. Then I'll hand over to Simon, who's going to give you a myCloudStore billing update. Then Daniel will kick off with SkyKick on some easy ways to immediately boost your Office 365 profitability. And then we'll pass over to Bruce from vGRID, who's going to do an overview of SecurePath, and coming back to me with some upcoming events and training. So just to start off, the Microsoft Partner Agreement, there is a new Microsoft Partner Agreement and it is available for preview now. So I'll send this way out to you all at the end of the presentation, but if you follow anything with an underline, it's a live link. So that will take you to where the Partner Agreement is in preview mode. So the timeline around that 1st of September, the MPA is available for signature on Partner Centre, so it's a digital signature. And then on the 31st of January 2020, all partners in the CSP program are required to accept the MPA to continue transacting through the CSP program. And now Skype for Business is going to go end of life and it will be retired on the 31st of January 2021. So after that date, the service is no longer accessible. So this is only Skype for Business online. This is not covering off Skype for Business, Skype consumer product, sorry. So that will be unaffected. Starting September 2019, they're going to onboard all new Office 365 customers directly to Teams for chat, meetings and calling. And then I've just put some resources here, so next step resources. We have in here, we've got the Skype for Business online Teams upgrade planning workshop, so I encourage you to have a look in there and download those materials. There's also a teamwork assessment that you can help with transitioning your customers to Teams and some awesome presentations, etc. So anything with an underline here, just follow through. Now the next one I want to talk about is the new Solutions Workspace. So a Solutions Workspace provides a place for Microsoft to meet you. So wherever you are, you can take your solution from the idea to market and you get proven advice and steps to help you move forward with that life cycle from build to go to market to the sales stages. Now, Solutions Workspace can be found following this link here, and that will give you access to all those resources and technical specialists. There's also a demo video, it's about 2.5 minutes, that you can watch around the Solutions Workspace. Service subscription download. Now, starting 1st of August, the customers, you'll be able to download your CSP service subs license keys from the Microsoft Admin Center. Now, this is a phased rollout, so it's going to be increasing to all of you by late August. So if you want to view this in preview mode, you can go through it into the Microsoft Admin Center to view that. Just follow the link here. And lastly from me, we've got the Microsoft Partner Awards. So the 12th annual Microsoft Partner Awards are now open. So entries. So all partners are invited to enter these awards and celebrate any kind of technology or great achievement that you've had this year. The categories for the awards include engaging customers, cloud for good, and empowering employees, and Microsoft Workplace. So from here, I'm just going to hand over to Simon Trevarthen, who's going to give you an update around the billing engine of myCloudStore.
Thanks, Janine. Hi all. So as you're probably well aware, we've had billing and reporting in myCloudStore for some time now. We switched it on probably at least 6 or 8 months ago. We are going to now put on the ability for you to select your billing date in the month. So this will likely be switched on before the end of August. What that's going to mean is when you do switch this date on and you do specifically select a day in the month, we're going to need to align all of your billing to that date. So you will see for that first month, there's probably going to be a little bit of admin overhead in that you will see some invoicing come through from us so that it aligns to that specific date. So if you've selected the 1st of the month, for example, as your billing day, and today we bill you to the 12th of the month for legacy licenses and licenses that have been set up post early 2018, are billed to the specific day that you created them, we'll need to align those dates to the 1st of the month. So for some licenses, subscriptions, you will see a credit, and for some you will see an additional invoice to align to that specific day. So as you select your day, we'll send an email out to you saying, hey, thanks for accepting the billing. We'll definitely do the billing date alignment, and here's what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So we'll send that through to you and keep you fully aware of what's going to occur as you hit that billing day that you've selected. If you don't select a billing day, it'll just continue at the default day. One of the other things that I did want to talk about was we're looking at some great new services to bring to market, and one of those is around Teams calling. So we're talking with a couple of vendors at the moment on how we can deliver a solution over the top of your Microsoft licensing to enable some SIP trunk for you to set customers up for Teams calling. So just before I hand over to Dan, I'd just like to say keep your eyes and ears open. We'll definitely come talking to you about these new services that we are going to bring to market soon. I'll happily hand over to Dan from SkyKick.
Awesome, thanks for that, Simon. I appreciate it. I'm just going to share my screen here in the background. Let me know when you can see that one.
Yep, we can see that.
Excellent. So thanks again for Simon and Janine for inviting me on to speak to all of your partners today. To everyone that hasn't met me, my name is Dan. I'm the Partner Development Manager for SkyKick in New Zealand. So I'm here to give you a quick run through of the work we do here at SkyKick and how we try and help our partners succeed in the cloud. Before I forget, I'd like to point out down here our free 24/6 support number. So we've got this for all partners indefinitely for any technical questions. We aim to be there soon, to be 24/7. So in this talk, we're going to run through 3 recurring themes, these being improving your profitability, increasing your business velocity, both deployment and customer acquisition, and of course, driving more recurring revenue. Since we've got an open format, feel free to jump in with any questions as we go, but I'll make sure there's time at the end for any questions as well. So a quick overview of us. SkyKick was founded 7 years ago out of migration automation, and our mission is to help our partners be more successful in the cloud. Now, we do this through our cloud management platform, which today includes Office 365 migration automation, Office 365 cloud backup, and a cloud management service, which is still in beta. We're hoping to release early next year. Now, these enable our partners to reduce their technical risk and increase their business velocity and profitability. Now, we're 100% through partner, which means we don't compete with you and we keep the barriers to entry high. So you need to be a Microsoft partner in order to engage with us. SkyKick is also global, with offices in Sydney, Tokyo, London, Amsterdam, and our head office over in Seattle. So you might have seen this before, but something I find interesting, and I think really ties in with this slide. I read the Microsoft July report, and they released results. There's over 129 million commercial users on Office 365. Now, while that's great, it has taken us 8 years to get to this point. And looking at the addressable market of 2 billion or more, the math would tell you it's going to take more than 25 years to acquire the rest. Now, Microsoft doesn't want that, and you don't want that. So the only way our partners at Microsoft are going to get there sooner, say 5 to 7 years, is through migration automation, which is why SkyKick is such a strategic partner, both for Microsoft and yourself. Looking at a quick overview of our platform, as I mentioned earlier, we consist of 3 main solutions at the moment: our migration automation, which saves you time and effort getting into the cloud; our cloud backup solution, which keeps your customers safe once you're there; and our Cloud Manager, which is still in beta testing at the moment, but aims to make it a lot easier to maintain all of your SaaS apps once your customers are across already in 365. Jumping into the first one, the migration suites. If we think of a typical 25 user organization, on average, the migration from their on-premise setup, maybe hosted Exchange, into 365 would take around 40 hours of labor. Now with SkyKick, we aim to automate 90% of that process. The majority of products on the market will save you on this basic 8-hour data move. In saying that, we do have a data product that will handle that for you. But we see partners using our suites the majority of the time. Now, the reason why, as you can see on the left-hand side, while we will move that data through automation, we're also going to address the other 4 key phases of the migration project. Starting up here with helping to automate your scope of work and sales assessment, help with your email architecture and planning, right the way through setting up end user PCs with the SkyKick Outlook Assistant, or SCOA, which is a really unique and cool piece of technology I'll get into in a bit. So looking at all of these, when I count up all these individual tasks, there's about 200, which we try and automate and simplify away for you. So we really do try and help save a lot of time. Getting into the core chunks of the migration technology, the 4 key components are the migration planner, first up, which is when you come in and plan the project. Now, it can be done by the sales team, and it's a free tool to use. The second one is our migration sync technology. Now, this is a little bit different than a straight cutover migration you might have done before. So what we do is copy the data from the source environment into Office 365. Now, what that means is we can't lose data because we're not moving it, we're just copying it. A further benefit of this is there's no downtime for your end users because they stay in that source environment, which is still active, until everything's been copied over. At cutover, we'll do a final sync and a delta sync, at which point the end user receives a pop-up to restart Outlook. Once they do that, they're in 365. Next up, we've got the SkyKick Outlook Assistant, or SCOA, and this is that third component, which is really unique to SkyKick. What it'll do, once you've installed it on an end user PC, it'll sit there and scan for hotfixes and automatically apply them. It'll look for any service packs that need remediation, and inside the partner portal, it'll give you a link to that service pack and identify the PC and username. It'll also create the Outlook profile for you on the PC and connect to 365. So SCOA is going to allow engineers to reduce the amount of time spent on site. So a process that might have taken about 30 minutes per PC can now often be done remotely. Finally, we've got that migration manager. So this is a section of our portal where engineers can manage multiple projects simultaneously. You can have non-engineering staff running the migrations, where the engineering's time is spent being a point of escalation and completing more complex tasks like Earthing. Really, what we aim to do here is give your engineers more visibility, flexibility, and control over the whole migration process. Just a quick recap of what we can migrate from. We do a range of mail environments, and we can do a full fidelity migration from virtually every on-premise or hosted environment. In particular, Exchange, SBS, Google, IMAP, and POP3 are very common for us. Now, for those of you focused on the business side of things, I've got this really quick breakdown of the profitability of using the suites. So looking here at a size 30 mailbox migration, I imagine most of you have done a 365 migration at some point, and you'll be aware that the price per mailbox is around $150 per box. Now, looking at the total revenue for that, you'll make about $4,500 minus your costs, which is around 40 hours of an engineer's time at $100 an hour. So assuming nothing goes wrong, you'll make around 11% profit, which is nice. But looking over here at the costs for the SkyKick licensing, plus 4 hours of your engineer's time, your costs drop down to about $1,500, and your profitability jumps up to 66%. What's cool here is that we also de-risk that project upfront with our scoping tools and some of the extra automation, so you might not need an engineer for the total of those 4 hours every time. So now we've touched on migration, we'll move into cloud backup before we discuss how it applies to your servers and how you can leverage this. Just going to check the messages real quick. Not sure if that was a ping. Oh well. So looking at customers over about 100 users, they usually understand the value of having a cloud backup. Oftentimes that's because they had a BCDR implementation on premise. And so now that customers move to the cloud, they still understand the need. However, as a lot of you will know, with SMB customers, there's a bit more education required in explaining the importance of cloud backup. Part of the reason why is Microsoft tells a great story around a 99.999% uptime. But what they don't explain is what happens if you accidentally delete an email or a file, or worse, malicious deletion of files by a disgruntled employee that's then purged out of the data center forever, depending on retention policies. What I found is once you explain that difference between having the uptime of being in the cloud and having an actual backup of your information, SMBs understand that need. An interesting point is that with crypto locker and ransomware becoming a more frequent issue, SMBs are becoming pretty self-educated on the need for backup. Really, if there's one single takeaway from today, it's go and talk to your existing customers already on Office 365 about backup. Because if you're not, they're most likely researching it, speaking up to other partners about it, or just being completely clueless. I do actually know of one customer in New Zealand whose current backup is on a USB drive plugged into his computer. And there's some partners that just aren't aware they don't have a proper backup. So jumping across into SkyKick's backup solution and how we differ to some of the other products out there. So we were one of the first to market. By virtue of that, our experience allowed us to build one of the most comprehensive solutions from a feature and functionality perspective. So our destination is Microsoft Azure. And so what that means is that when we back up, it's from cloud to cloud. And that efficiency allows us to achieve up to 6 snapshots a day. Now, more importantly, we aren't bringing that data back down to an appliance on the network. So there's zero bandwidth impact on your customer's network. SkyKick also allows you to use our Azure storage for free, but you do have the flexibility using the customers or your own. When using SkyKicks, we default to the Australian data center, but you can choose other global regions. Some of the greatest feedback I get around our backup solution is that we have a really simple pricing model with no hidden costs. So as one of our key value propositions, we offer you cloud backup with unlimited storage and unlimited retention for one straightforward price. So how does that work? Well, we charge based on the mailboxes and public folders you choose to back up. And that's $285 per mailbox or public folder per month. With SharePoint, we charge based on the activated users in the SharePoint tenant. Those users do get OneDrive for Business backed up at no extra cost. Again, that's $285 per activated user per month. Now, likewise, if your customer doesn't have SharePoint yet, they can get OneDrive for Business standalone, where they choose which users to back up for that same $285 per user per month. Now, some of the objections you'll get from customers are often around not understanding what 365 already provides and what the extra backup service involves. So even though some of Office 365 SKUs do come with features like greater retention policies, SkyKick's backup is still completely complementary to this process. Legal holds can be attached to some licenses, but as I'm sure you're aware if you've had to do it, recovering data out of a legal hold can be really arduous and long. If you check out Microsoft's most recent service agreement, they did explicitly state that they're not responsible for data and they recommend that you have a third-party backup solution. And so what we aim to do is provide that solution and make it fast and easy to use. So we've walked through an overview of the platform and those two solutions. Now let's move on to how you can leverage those to get more differentiation for going to market with your customers. This slide here is an example of an online managed service offered by a partner over in the US. So please do ignore this pricing, that is US dollars. What CDW did was create a hard bundle, which includes Office 365, account management, their service hours, and a SkyKick migration with backup. Now that allowed them to differentiate their managed service to offer increased average revenue per user while making it easier for their customers to buy a complete Office 365 service. It is unfortunate, but if customers don't have a backup in place and they lose data, often they look around, they want to find someone to blame, and as the partner, you happen to be there and have technical knowledge. So it's great to be able to include that backup in there, or at least have the initial conversation. So when data loss happens, you know exactly where to go. To add a bit more value as well, you can always offer to bundle in a free email migration, that $42 migration I ran through earlier, if your customer signs on for 1 year of backup. Diving into that in a bit more depth, one of the things we do to drive the migration and backup value a bit further is bundle them both into the one package. So looking over here at our standard bundle, instead of having the customer pay upfront for the migration suite and then pay monthly for backup, we've got an offer where if your customer opts in upfront for 12 months of backup, we'll give you a free $42 migration with all that automation and get you that backup service. And actually, as of about 10 days ago, we officially updated our pricing to be more in line with how you buy Office 365. So now on annual orders like this, you'll get shared mailboxes migrated and backed up for free, just because we realized a lot of our partners wanted there to be a lot more of a one-to-one relationship between how they bought 365 and our backup. And so we've adjusted to accommodate that. So did anyone have any questions? Sweet. In that case.
Everyone's today.
Awesome. In that case, some of the next steps around the partnership. Getting started with SkyKick. If you're interested in learning a bit more about the solution, or you've got an upcoming migration or backup opportunity, feel free to jump over to skykick.com, as the link is in this way. You're also welcome to utilize our free RUR offers. So we give you a free migration and backup to use on yourselves to get a bit more experience with the solution and see if you like it. Keep an eye on this way, and there aren't any other questions. Feel free to ping those through in an email to me or call on the number below. I'm more than happy to hear about any particular opportunities you've got going or share any more information. I believe that's everything from me. So thanks again, Janine.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for that. Okay, so moving on from here, we've got an update from Bruce from vGRID, and he is going to talk to you guys about SecurePath. So I'll hand over to you, Bruce.
Thanks very much, and for having me. And look, great presentation there on SkyKick. I know our operations team were doing some work with that recently, so I'll get their feedback as well. But certainly, look, it's going very well, very easy to use. So look, vGRID. Hopefully, you all know who vGRID is. If you don't, we're an in-country cloud services provider, exclusively offering through reseller channel, exclusively, sorry, with Exceed. So obviously, if you're with Exceed, then you've got the opportunity to sell vGRID services. Now, quick update, really succinct for me today, is really around this concept of SecurePath, and we decided to create this product because often when you take the step, or when a customer takes the step to go from on-premise or on-site equipment to consuming cloud, for all the good reasons we know why, you know, the elasticity and the scalability and the inherent resilience and backup and control and security, but how are they connecting to that? Now, UFB is a wonderfully cost-effective mechanism to connect to your cloud services, but traditionally people are just buying an ISP connection, so therefore everything you do traverses the internet. And what we did with SecurePath was basically recreate the ability to have the equivalent of your Ethernet cable that runs down the corridor to your servers, with your servers being in a cloud service provider environment. So I've got a quick video I'll just quickly play which demonstrates that, and then I'll go into a little bit more detail about the various options on SecurePath. So bear with me 1 second. Might help if I share my screen. Okay, we up and running there, Janine?
Yes, yep.
Yep, we can see the screen, mate.
There is no sound though, Bruce.
Right, sorry. So yeah, just demonstrating obviously that servers used to be on site, and now of course you're consuming cloud. You can replace that server rack with hopefully a drinks cabinet. The idea being that it's all now in the cloud. So lots and lots of servers to choose from, lots of services. But how are you connecting to those services? So that's typically, as I say, over the internet. With SecurePath, we're replacing that with a layer 2 connection that actually stays on the fiber network, or we have a wireless option as well. and the benefit therefore is that is layer 2. That is the equivalent of a private connection to the rack of servers in your building. It literally does not traverse the internet. It is not even publicly addressed. Therefore, it is not hackable in the way that a public internet connection is, and it truly gives you that ability to consume your IT infrastructure with that same level of network security that you loved when you had that in-house. But we take it a little bit further than that. Just quickly bring up a PDF. I'm relatively new to Teams, so when I'm trying to share things, there we go. So we just got this one page which is available in the partner portal for download, which talks about the product or the service. But what's most important here, and this is all retail pricing, is that you can achieve a layer 2 SecurePath connection from your customer's site to the vGRID data centers on any of these technologies. So if they can't get UFB, then copper, but any of the UFB speeds, 100 meg, 200 meg or gigabit, and then wireless. And what we're seeing is customers are implementing either VDSL and UFB or UFB and wireless. And so basically 2 of these connections, and the wireless has effectively been implemented as a failover. So if you ever suffer from spade fade or any other kind of failure of the fiber network, then you've got that high-speed LTE cellular connection to keep you connected. And again, that is also layer 2. So vGRID has implemented a layer 2 private APN with Spark, which means that connectivity still does not traverse the internet, even though it is over a wireless connect. You're truly getting the best resilience by having the 2 media types, but you're also getting that full private network security directly into the server environment. So hopefully that makes sense, just to on that new product, that new service, and how it can benefit your customers from mitigating that single point of failure or that otherwise internet routed and therefore risky connectivity. Any questions for me on that product? Great, must be easy. That's good.
Everyone's quiet. You've obviously nailed it, guys. SecurePath and vGRID is stuff that's totally available and will help you solution design. And the guys at vGRID know their stuff, so we're more than willing to engage you and your customers to help you look at local cloud as an option. So definitely some great services available to you there, and bringing SecurePath online gives you that added benefit of that secure connection into the data centers. So a great service and a great team of guys to work with as well.
Right.
Thanks, Simon. Yeah, so just to reiterate that, obviously, when it comes to architecting a solution, our engineers will work with yours and always get the best result.
Thanks for that, Bruce. So just wanted to cover off some upcoming training and events. So there is the Azure Base Camp coming up in Christchurch and Wellington. It's very soon, so 14th of August is the hands-on training in Christchurch, and also in Wellington on the 21st of August. So if you are interested in any of those 2 events down the line, then you can register following the link here, which I'll send this way out to you all later. And then lastly, there are a lot of exams going on that people are having to sit due to competency changes, etc. So Microsoft have released a series of live webinars that they're going to do throughout August and September. I don't have the exact dates as yet, but you can access them from the bottom of this link here into Partner Hub training calendar, and they should be posted within the next week. One of the ones that a lot of people will be doing is the Microsoft 365 Identity and Services, and they will help you with your exam sitting anyway. Right, and that's it for today. If anyone's got any questions and they'd like to contact us, there's our details at the bottom. Also, we've got Kenny has joined us. He's on board now, our new cloud solutions architect. So he'll be out to visit a whole lot of you very soon. Does anyone have any questions? No? I'll send the recording of the webinar and the sway out via an extract later today, or if not Monday. Great, thank you everybody.